Hey, Winter here, and today I'm in beautiful sunny Santa Monica, taking a couple days off, got a nice hotel by the beach, and just trying to relax. But Happy New Year! I wanted to take a quick second and show you this video. I have answers to your burning questions from the last couple of weeks, but first, being a new year, I hope you're taking time to reflect on everything that's transpired for you in the last year, whether good or bad, and I hope forward thinking you're setting goals and benchmarks for yourself of what you want to achieve both personally and in business. It's important to really focus on what goals, what you want to do. That way you can get your mindset in the right place and do it. So with that said, take a couple minutes and do this little assignment. This is something I've done for the last several years, and I find it just to be powerful and really helpful for me to achieve the goals that I work on for the year next. So take a couple minutes and write yourself a letter, or to your spouse, your children, your family, your loved ones, parents, whatever. But write a letter and date it December 30th, 2015. Okay, so you're actually writing the letter as if it was a year in the future. And you're talking about everything that you've achieved throughout the year. Again, whether business, personal, you got that promotion, you started your new business, saved up money, purchased a new house, moved, had a child, got married, whatever. But write this letter a year ahead, a year in advance, looking at the past year and how well you did and what you achieved. This is really a powerful manifestation tool and really helpful tool to put out there and really help you know what you want throughout the year. So take a couple minutes, it shouldn't take long, and then fold that letter up and put that somewhere safe. So at the end of the year, you can go back and read what you had written and look at what you did achieve. And then get your brain thinking for the next year. Okay, I did this, I didn't achieve this, and this is what I want to do next year. And then rinse and repeat and do the same task in 2016. Again, I find this very powerful, and I suggest you use it. Take a couple minutes to do that. So with that said, let's look at some of the questions and answers that we have from the last couple of weeks.
Let's kick off today's session with a question from Marcel, who asks this. Hi, Winter. All my financial constraints would be resolved if I could unleash my inner power. How can I realize once and for all the great escape out of my blockages and limitations? How can I make a breakthrough for the best right now? Thanks a lot. Marcel, it's great that you want to break free out of your blockages and limitations. And you're on the right path with recognizing you are your biggest block. However, it may take some time, so you need to have a bit of patience. Wanting something right now can sometimes work against us when we're dealing with inner blockage and limitations, because these things are sometimes deeply rooted, deeply ingrained in us, that we need time to clear out the junk in our head before we can program the good stuff into our brain. For example, if you've been poor all your life, or if you're suffering from some kind of trauma that's hindering you from moving forward in your life, change isn't going to happen overnight. You're not going to be rich the same day you decide to think rich. It's just not how it works. Your brain needs time to process what you're going through and the changes and adjustments that you need to make in your life before you can see the results that you want. Be patient with yourself. You are worth it. Sometimes just uncovering the effects of blockages and limitations is like sunlight. It really disinfects these festering problems that hold us back, and it does it quickly. This is part of our inner power. Once something is brought to light, we usually can deal with it. If you uncover that your blockages include anger, fear, guilt, sorrow, or low self-esteem, you definitely have the power to resolve these issues. For example, if you are aware that you have a low self-esteem, develop the habit of listening to the kinds of thoughts that you habitually have. Do you find yourself calling yourself stupid, berating yourself for past mistakes, telling yourself you are a loser, that you just messed up again, etc.? Discover those voices and argue with them. I am not stupid. I have made mistakes like every other human being for which I am sorry and which I have tried to make up for. Everyone messes up sometimes. I am a good person. Maybe it's time to take a few minutes each day to examine the nature of your blockages and limitations. Writing journal entries about this is very therapeutic and helpful because it increases this kind of self-awareness that allows you to know what you are really thinking and feeling. Buy an inexpensive composition book and label it Reflections. You can use bullet points. You don't have to write pages and pages until you want to. But try zeroing in on the events of each day. What triggered feelings of powerlessness or frustration today? What else was going on? Were you talking to someone at the bank just after an argument with your spouse? Was that why you felt so tense and certain the person would refuse that loan that you really desperately needed? Identifying triggers to unhappy and uncertain feelings and looking into what else was going on can help you see that the conversation with the person at the bank, for example, wasn't really the problem. The problem was communication with your spouse. That may be the area that you need to work on. Many times we work on the wrong problems in life, so we don't get the results that we want or the results we're looking for. For example, I know of one couple who talked continually of selling their home and moving to a different environment. They simply weren't satisfied with their lives and they wanted to change. Change can be good, but change for change's sake doesn't always bring the happiness we seek. Through talking it out and zeroing in on the real problem, the couple realized that the source of their discontent was not their home. In fact, they had a nice home in a good neighborhood. Selling the house and moving elsewhere then wasn't the solution to their problem, because the house wasn't the real problem. The real source of their unhappiness, they discovered, was that the husband was stuck in a dead-end job and his unhappiness was affecting his family. By concentrating on solving the real problem, the husband's job dissatisfaction, they avoided the costly error of trying to solve the wrong problem and ended up feeling frustrated that the difficulty didn't go away. Focusing on finding out what the real problem is will help you find more satisfying and often easier than you think solutions that create real breakthroughs towards a happier life. People are natural problem solvers. That is why most of us love a good mystery or detective story. We like solving problems. One way to unleash your inner power is to understand that you have a natural ability to solve any problems that come your way. You are a gifted human being. You live in a society where there are tons of resources, avenues, and innovative solutions. You are creative enough to find these solutions. Believe that about yourself. All you have to do is pinpoint what the problem areas really are so that you can start brainstorming positive solutions. I hope that helps, Marcel. Now we move on to Hansraj, who says this. Hi, Winter. I'm afraid of taking risks. I feel fearful and worried and just can't seem to put my feet forward. I also find that I am lethargic and lack the energy to put my plans into action. What should I do? Can you help? All right, Hansraj, and I hope I'm saying your name correctly. When it comes to taking risks, you're definitely not alone. Experts have found that people have all kinds of different comfort levels with risk-taking. There are the wild daredevils who live to take foolhardily risks. These are people that are not necessarily in a healthy place in their lives. Then there are people who find a certain amount of risk exciting, but only a certain amount. There are people who dislike risk and avoid it when they can. Then there are people who refuse to take any risks at all. The extremes on the spectrum of risk-taking are not healthy. For those who take foolhardily daredevil risks, there is often a high price to pay. Yet those who are totally risk-averse also pay a high price psychologically because life simply isn't like that. Life involves a certain amount of risk. It sounds like you might be experiencing the frustration, pain, and tied up energy that comes from avoiding risks at all costs. You need to raise your risk tolerance incrementally, a little bit at a time, until you are in a more healthy range on the spectrum of risk tolerance. A lot of your fear, worry, and lack of energy will disappear when you're more comfortable with risk. So let's work on getting you there first. Start small. Take one small risk a day, one you can tolerate. Make that one phone call you'd rather not risk, but that you can endure risking. Reward yourself afterwards by having a cup of coffee or having a piece of cake. That's not very hard to do, is it? Risk-taking can actually be fun, and it is definitely rewarding. It might be helpful for you to realize that the very nature of life involves risk. If you study biology, you will find that the path of a human sperm to fertilize a human egg within the womb is incredibly risky. Only a favored few out of millions of human sperm actually make it through the perilous journey. You have already been part of this winning team. So you are already a winner who has endured great risks and triumphed. You are literally a winner out of millions. By that factor alone, you can see that risk has been very rewarding for you already. As human beings, we live trustfully in a universe that must supply us with air every second or we die. We don't even think about the riskiness of our situation. We trust that the air will be there, and 99.9% of the time, it is. Trust the universe. It's there for you. As a human being, you have a certain amount of risk tolerance built in so you can endure life's daily risks. You just have to tap into that. It might be helpful for you to read the stories of people who have endured great risk and reaped great reward from it. The stories of people who set out into uncharted waters and discovered whole continents might inspire you. Take Sir Ernest Shackleton, for example. His story is a study in risk-taking. Shackleton set out to explore Antarctica when his ship was trapped in packed ice and broken to pieces. He and his men lived on an iceberg and ate penguins for months without hope of rescue, until Shackleton decided to take the risk to set out in a small boat to try to find an inhabited island. He did this, and he and his men were rescued. Now, if he hadn't taken that risk, he and all his men would have been frozen to death. With risk comes reward. As the old saying goes, nothing ventured, nothing gained. For people who are risk averse, there's a fairly simple solution. In addition to building up your own risk tolerance by taking small risks, it is important to work on taking calculated risks. Businesses do this all the time. In fact, some businesses have whole risk management departments where people are paid simply to calculate and analyze risk. Should they risk introducing a new product line? Should they risk opening up in another country? Should they risk changing their classic brand to a new style? People do cost-benefit analysis to project whether the potential benefits of an action will outweigh the potential costs and losses of the risk. You may not want to do cost-benefit analysis, but you can certainly calculate your own risks. Learn all you can about a potentially risky move because knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you will be able to use your judgment to decide whether a risk is worth taking or not. Once you have taken a solid, calculated risk and enjoyed the benefits of it, you will learn that you might actually like taking well thought out risks. In any case, your risk tolerance will improve, and you will be happier and more energetic because of it. Now let's hear from Christian. I'm really interested in a life full of abundance, wealth, and luck. I do my best to find out the easiest way to gain a lot of money, hopefully millions. But somewhere in my gut, there is a devil which constantly ridicules me. You can never achieve it because you're blind. Your darn blindness is the reason why the riches you desire will never manifest. Now, I know it's nonsense, but my blinders were really often the reason I believed the reason why I had not the opportunity to get a good job. Now, perhaps I can do some work on the internet, but some technical issues have cropped up because my system is only capable enough to access text files. How can I eliminate the presence of the devil spoiling my good attitude? Shall I fall back in my fixed income job, even though I could only give my family much more if my alternative idea works? Thank you in advance. So, Christian, you already have some of the solutions to your difficulties right in your hand. I can see them in your message, and I will go into them. When you speak of blindness, I'm assuming you're speaking about the blindness to opportunity that a lot of people have. You are absolutely right to see the problem more in terms of what you are seeing rather than what is really there or not there. So excellent. Your self-awareness means you're already halfway there towards seeing the doors that may be open to you. Please know that there really isn't any easy way to gain millions. Most millionaires and billionaires have worked very, very hard at what they do have. But their hard work did give them the expertise and openness to recognize opportunity when it came knocking. Then they were able to experience abundance and wealth more easily by grabbing those opportunities. Now, phenomenally successful people, say Bill Gates and the Beatles, actually put in what Gladwell estimated to be 10,000 hours of hard work before they succeeded. Natural talent, a little luck, being in the right place at the right time, and most importantly, 10,000 hours of hard work gave them the momentum they needed to succeed phenomenally. So first look for your talents, put in the hard work, and then keep your eyes open for those lucky opportunities that are all around us. Many people say, I don't have any talents. And in case after case after case, I have found that these people are simply blind to their talents. One woman, for example, mentioned to me once that she did not have any talent because she was not a writer or a painter. However, she made beautiful clothing on her sewing machine. So I said, that is a great talent. A talent like that can be parlayed into a successful business or a grand hobby that brings joy to the talented person and to others. Open your mind to the idea that talents are anything you are good at and enjoy. What do you do in your spare time? Maybe you watch a lot of movies. You might say that that is not a talent, but do you analyze the movies, discuss them with friends, and rate them on the internet? You may have the talent to be a critic or to blog about movies with other movie lovers. That is an example of a talent someone might not think he or she has. So think outside the box when considering your talents. Talents are gifts, and they often show up early in life. What did you love to do, and what were you good at as a child or teenager? Your special gifts and talents might have gotten buried with the years. But once you uncover your talents, start using them and working to become better at them. This will attract opportunities to use them. If your wealth is new friends, new interests, new places to go, and new frontiers of using your gift, you will have indeed increased your wealth. They say that the average person sees 3 new business opportunities a day, but never acts on them. So clear your blindness by simply being more aware of your thoughts on these matters. Keep a little notebook handy so you can write these inspirations down when they come. It sounds like you already have an alternative idea you would like to explore. It's true that an alternative idea could reap great benefits for you and your family, but why not leverage the risk by moving toward it while keeping your day job? Some people have turned ideas they developed in their spare time into full-time income, gradually making their inspiration the center of successful financial lives. You mentioned having problems with your computer being capable enough to open text files. Consider finding the means to upgrade or fix your computer so you're not stuck with just text files. There are plenty of opportunities out there on the internet. Don't let your limitations stop you from seizing the opportunities waiting for you out there. You're right that negative thinking does bedevil us. You have to capture that devil by becoming aware of how he or she operates in your mind. Catch your thoughts. You may be listening to a very negative old tape in your mind that harps on your mistakes and lacks. You have to stop that tape and refute it. If your mind is telling you you'll never achieve it because you're blind, then stop that thought. Capture it and argue it down. I will achieve things because I am working on curing my blindness. I am fixing my computer. I am exploring an alternative idea. I am becoming more aware of my business inspirations. I have talents and I am on the alert for when opportunity knocks. Always keep the faith that opportunity is out there. You simply have to learn to see it. From your question, I can see that you're already well on your way to understanding that.
All right, thank you. I really hope there were some answers that helped you with some of the sticking points, some of the problems that you have right now. I really hope the new year, 2015, is looking bright for you and you're laying ahead what you want in life. Until then, I'm Winter, wishing all of you success, health, and wealth in everything you do. Happy 2015. Talk to you soon.